All right, on today on Let's Talk the Talk, we have a special guest here. We have Dr. Stacey Venable. I call her mom, as most of you guys know. This is episode 2 of Let's Talk the Talk, and we brought you on here, so let's talk the talk. Dr. Stacey Venable, let's give the viewer some background.
Hey, good evening. I'm glad to be here with my son, better known as Saquon, of the host of Let's Talk the Talk. A little bit about myself. Again, as he already introduced me, my name is Dr. Stacey Venable. I am the mother of 2 sons. I am the grandmother of 1 granddaughter. Um, I am a native here of Harford County. I am the owner of the business suites of Brass Mill. I am the owner of the executive suites of Brass Mill. I am the owner of the podcast studio. I am also the owner of the Delaware Brass
That's a
Mill.
lot of O's.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
O's, a lot of O's,
That's
a lot. You like
O's.
that, didn't you? A lot of them
I
O's,
did like
right?
that. I was like,
A lot of them
owner. I had to
O's.
start
A lot
counting
of
in
them
my head.
O's. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really wonderful how you're just spreading. It's like a wildfire almost. How are you excited about that?
Let me tell you, I'm super excited. Through triumph comes victory. I just been this winning circle was it was my season. It was time. It was
Your
time.
season?
Absolutely,
Yeah, I like
absolutely,
that too. It was my
absolutely.
season. So are you? What else do you do other than that? What other stuff do you get into? What were some of your hobbies? Some of your passions?
Some of my passions has always been to work with the youth, work with young adults. Teaching has always been one of my stronger passions. Starting from early on, from owning a daycare all the way up to now being a professor. Um, One of my biggest passions was always to provide informative information to the communities in every aspect of the word. Through young parents, through young mothers, through just being out there, being involved in our community. I'm a part of the African American Democratic Club. I love that. I love the initiative. I love the drive. I love the motivation that it
Like
brings.
that.
Yeah.
I think you bring something that we don't have anymore, and it's people bringing back stuff to the community as either if it's like a donations or you're dropping off anything, but you're actually making a real connection, actually teaching something that's to me that's way more valuable than I mean you can get money in your hand, but you're teaching knowledge to empower people to make their own money. Like that's something that I thought that was amazing. Um, I lost train of thought because you just threw me off guard because I was
Sure.
like, man, it's just not only are you giving back to your community, but you're also showing people that where you come from, does not define who you are.
Absolutely not. I came from a single mother. She had seven children. My brother and I are the youngest. We grew up in the Improv area right here in Harford County. Right here in Harford County, it used to be called the Black Heights. It's no longer there. Then we moved over to the next corridor, which is Beacon Terrace, where we grew up as a family. We stayed together as a family. A lot of us are still here in Harford County. A lot of us have moved on and also have come back and made great strides here in Harford County. You can go anywhere, but don't forget from where you are and
I
where you
like
came
that.
from. You can
That's
go
absolutely
anywhere
right.
and still strive. I'll take Edgewood with me everywhere I go. Every platform that I take, Edgewood is still a
Got
part of who I am.
Oh yeah, I know, definitely a part of Edgewood because we always had that little rivalry going. I'm a Mariner. He
Yeah, and
comes
I'm a
straight from the
Ram.
Rams,
I'm a
straight from the
Ram,
Rams.
I'm
So
Ram country. I don't mind the merger though. I don't
you,
mind the merger of the Edgewood Joppatown. To my Edgewood family, to my Joppatown family, I'm saying this on air live. I don't mind. I don't mind the merger that came about.
that
But I have
coexisting
to
right
be,
here
yeah. But I just have to be true to the Edgewood
to the
Rams
Edgewood.
native,
Okay, to the
of
black and
course,
red. All right,
absolutely.
black and red.
That red thing got me going. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying.
you see the logo over here. We rocking purple.
Yeah, we got
We
it. We
rocking
got it.
purple.
We got it. We're good. We're good.
It's a really good merger. It's a
It
really
is.
good
It
merger.
is.
Can you go into what was your first part of business?
My first part of business started years and years and years ago when I owned a daycare. Um, I loved everything about just being my own entrepreneur, being being able to set my own rules, being able to do what I wanted to do, being able to embark in a curriculum for children that I wrote. So that was the first time that I ever embarked in being an entrepreneur, and then it went from there.
Just started dibbling and dabbling in other things.
Well,
After that,
I went through a lot of things. Being a single mother first of one son at the age of 17, that was kind of difficult. Made it through that journey. Wasn't a great journey, but made it through that journey. Then after that, got married to your dad, and then had you, and wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Would make sure that you guys were, because that's kind of what I knew. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so I just wanted to give that back to you guys. And I said, well, you know what? There's people were knocking on doors talking about, they needed a babysitter, and I said, I want to be more than a babysitter. I want to be an educator. So that's when I said I was going to open my own daycare, and from that. Couple years later, just sitting around the table talking to a group of women. We were all sitting there getting our bachelor's degrees at that time. That's how long ago that was. And we locked ourselves in for the weekend because we had so many papers to do. We were all sitting around the table helping each other. And a good friend of mine, said, you know what? Her birthday was coming up, and I wanted to get a party bus. And we looked all around everywhere. We looked all around and couldn't find this party bus. We called a coordinator. She never got back to us. I said, you know what? I want to own a party coordinating company. And everybody at the table was like, I don't know if that's going to work out. And, I did the bet on the income taxes. I was like, I'm going to take my income taxes and I'm going to start this business. So I started Witty Ambitions LLC with $5,000. And Witty Ambition now has made a ton more than $5,000.
Oh yeah.
We've done weddings, we've done things for the Fraternal Order of Police. I mean, we've done funerals. We you name it, we've done it. We are a family owned and operated business. My sister worked for me, my sister-in-law, my cousin, my best friends, a husband, everybody, my brother, everybody worked for that company. The company is still in existence. COVID kind of took us down a little bit, but we're relaunching soon. Okay. So that those two businesses were what gave me the motivation to keep going.
So what I'm hearing a lot too in there is, how do you keep things so family oriented when nowadays people outside the family, like companies or people just trying to get a piece of what you have, how do you maintain of keeping it? Yeah, we're going to keep this a family operating instead of having someone on the outside come in.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard having your family work for you because, there's boundaries. You have business boundaries and then you have personal boundaries. My brother works for me now, and there's times where, we go at it. And then at the end of the day, we get the mission accomplished. You work here for us. It's kind of difficult sometimes working with your son, and he's 24 and he got a mind of a 24-year-old, and it gets a little difficult. Having other family members work for me too. You just gotta put on a different kind of hat every time you make or turn into that different visionary. Every time you walk into the business suites of Brass Mill, I tell you guys all the time, we're here to work. And we work a lot.
Oh yeah, all the time here. I don't think I've ever heard a day that your phone didn't go off about this.
Oh no, I tell everybody I work 7 days a week. And it's a lot. It's a lot to accomplish. But when you're set out and you're goal stricken, you tend to do that. No one is going to love your business the way you love it. It's just like birthing a brand new child. As a mother, no one's going to love that child more than you and the parent, the other parent. No one's going to love that. So when you're birthing a business, you got to take that same tender love and care to raise that business up like I raised you and your brother up. So you have to have that.
Gotta have it.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the things that I got from you is why I'm so dedicated to this podcast, and I'm always trying to look up stuff. And you always help me out too. Like, hey, what software we need to get, what we need to do. Is there anything that's just seeing you having that level of dedication of being, this isn't going to fail. This is my baby, and I'm gonna make sure I do everything I got to do. I love that. How did you get that will in you? Because I know a lot of people, they get the income tax, then they get the plan
Right, right,
rolling,
right.
and then it's like along the lines they get lost, or I think they give up. Other than like that, like how did you learn to be like, I'm gonna put all my chips in, I'm gonna bet on myself. This is gonna help me out in a good way, and it's also going to teach me some things along the way.
Um, I knew betting on myself was always going to be an option that I had to do. I've been betting on myself for a very long time. Um, sometimes I won, and sometimes I lost. A lot of people said to me, opening up the business suites at Brass Mill was crazy because we opened it around COVID time, and they said, all odds were stacked against me, and I said, I'm going to keep going, and I'm glad I did. We're still going, and we're still going strong. We never had to close our doors. We never had to
That's
close our
amazing.
doors. Some of the times our buildings have been empty, but we
But
still
it
were.
was never closed.
But
It
we
was
never
closed.
closed.
That's wonderful.
Leaving a legacy for you and your brother and my grandchildren and people to come after that is one of my biggest things that keep me inspired and keep me betting on myself. My mother, she didn't leave us anything, but she left us her legacy. Everybody in Harford County knew her. Everybody knew what kind of person she was. Everybody knew she had a caring heart. Everybody knew that if you came to Miss Shirley's house, you were going to be loved, you were going to be fed, you're going to be cared for. And that's the kind of stand on tall stilt type of person she was, and that's something that I want to leave for you guys. But not only just leave you guys with the knowledge that I have, but leave you with something of ownership. I think you young people we don't have that in the African American community. We don't have that where we leave people inheritance and we leave people something to look forward to. Or pioneerism, we don't leave anything for you guys, and that's something that we have to get out of. As Black business owners, instead of closing our doors, try to figure out other ways that we can survive. Sometimes you just have to give up things.
I understand
Give up a
that.
lot.
I definitely understand. I think that's a lot better for everyone too, because I think once you leave that legacy, you already have some sort of dedication and passion
Sure.
and willpower already instilled in you
Mm-hmm.
because you grew up all around it. I really do credit to everything that you do because all it does is just shows me that I personally have the willpower to do anything I set my mind into. Another thing I wanted to touch about is about like your parenting skills. You come in, you have all these accolades, doctor mom, you have your hand in a lot of everything, and then you're so willing. Like, I don't want to say willing, but you always believed that like anything your kids could do, it was just you could do it. You think you can touch on that a little bit?
Growing up in our house, we knew that we were loved. I remember a couple weeks ago you asked me, what did you want to be when you grew up? And I told you, I said that I wanted to always be a teacher. And every time you wanted to do something or you wanted to be something, I always endowed you to go and do it. I remember when you wanted to work for Safe Life, the shield, when you put the car shield. I was like, hey, I called my friend and say, hey, I know you work for him. Everything that you wanted to do, I wanted to stand behind you. But the one thing that I always told you is that you have to complete the mission. You have to complete the mission. If it's something that you're going to go forth, you have to complete it. When I started Witty Ambition LLC, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she was like one of my biggest fans. I would tell her, "Hey, mom, She was down in Sinai, so I'll be back in the morning. I gotta go do a party or whatever." And she would say, "Make sure you do good." So she was one of my biggest cheerleaders. I think just being a parent, just believing in what your child believes in. If your child believes in being an artist, give them the crayons, give them the paper. If your child wants to do whatever it may be, as a parent, we need to make sure that we're giving them the resources and the options. I came from a mother that didn't give too many resources, didn't give too many options. It was you do as you told. And I came from the era of you were able to be seen but not heard.
Mm-hmm.
And with you and your brother, I always wanted to hear what you guys had to say because you guys are the next generation. One of the things that we touched upon in our house, education was big. Every education was very big, and as you see me through the struggles of finishing this PhD.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many nights we sat at the table and tried to push forth, and I quit twice. I don't know if you know that. I quit twice. And
Never
I
did.
did. I quit twice when I started my PhD. One time, things just got heavy, taking care of mother, taking care of my sister, taking care of my children. Things got heavy and I quit. And by the grace of God, I was able to go back. And when I went back, then I didn't have the money, you know. But I just felt like, this is something that I want to accomplish. It's the last piece of the puzzle.
The
It's the
last
last
piece
piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
that don't quit. That's definitely always something. I try to never bring in my mind is just like always try
No,
to
quitting is
succeed.
not an
Because
option.
we've been through a lot together, and one
Yes.
thing you always said is, "Hey, we'll get through this." And we've been through many battles, and we still
Yes.
standing here today.
Still.
I am just so blessed that gave me that belief in that I can create something like this, because I didn't think I would create something like this ever, maybe ever. Like I didn't. I
I
always
thought you
had it
would.
in the back of my head. Like
I
you
thought you
always heard
would.
me talk about it in
Absolutely.
the house,
Absolutely. You were
but like I
always,
never had
oh yeah.
that.
You were always gifted, always talented in the areas, you and your brother in the areas of technology. And anything that you dream, you can do. Anything you
Yeah.
dream, you can believe in. And today your dream right now, because you're 24, so you'll have a plenty time to do more dreams. Right now, this is your podcast studio here at 1200 Brass Mill. This is your building. I put forth the effort to make sure that that you had the opportunity. And a lot of people, like I said, don't do that with their
They don't get
children.
that.
I wasn't selfish.
No,
I
not at
wasn't
all.
selfish, and I've never been selfish. And when you came to me about this studio, there was another studio opening up, and you said, well, Mom, there's another studio open up the street. I said, what does that got to do with you? What's that got to do with you? That has nothing to do with you. And we're here. This building has been yours for the last 9 months. So people out there that are listening, come see him, because I've been paying the rent. And I believe in the love for this child, but I believe that we got to now show him the structure of what it takes to be a full entrepreneur. But as a mother, we never set our children up for failure. We always make sure that we have your backs. We only ask as parents is that you do your very best.
Absolutely.
You just do your very best, and your best is good enough. Your best is good enough. Sometimes I think you young people get down on yourselves and you don't think that your best is good enough. Your best is good enough. But if you can be better, strive to be better. Strive to be better.
You said something intriguing to me when, like you said, if there are artists, give them the crowns to do it. Do you think that some parents believe in that their kids can do that, but they just want them to be, financially stable? Let me all right, that's cool to have it as a hobby, but you got to have some sort of 9-to-5 job, or you got to go out here and get, go to school and get your bachelor's. Or do you think that could have some sort of interpretation on them? Like some sort of, they'll be I like my kid's drawings. I know he's talented.
Right.
But I don't know if he can.
I think sometimes parents I think sometimes parents get scared. They get scared because we want the very best for you. We want the very best for all our children. We want the very best for this Gen X, you guys as a whole. But there are times when other things come into effect. I remember you went to college, and I pushed that on you, and I'm like, hey, because that's what I wanted from you. I remember you wanted to be a wrestler. I didn't support that. I said, well, we're gonna try something else. So you guys got to understand that you guys don't come with instruction books, and as parents, we do the very best we can, and sometimes we don't always get it right. Sometimes I didn't always get it right with you and your brother. But one thing I kept doing and I kept showing you was the leadership ability that I had within me. Even raising you guys on my own, sometimes by myself. I got up and I showed you what the work ethic looked like. Your father and I absolutely showed you guys what the work ethic looked like. Your dad still shows you what the work ethic looks like. We get up every morning. We do our routine and we go out to work. And when we go to work as parents, we bring finances back into the house that blossom you into a believer, because someone had to buy those crayons. Someone had to buy that technology, that first laptop where you learned how to do all this stuff. So I think the basic thing is believing in your child, but there are some things that you have to strive for. And education is one of the biggest things, because if you're not educated, you're not going to be able to do anything.
You're not going to be able to learn a whole
You're not
lot.
going to be able to learn a whole lot. You're not going to be able to learn a whole lot. And some people are self-taught. Some people need, some people need doctrines. Some people don't. I think my twin brother is one of the smartest people I know, and he doesn't have a PhD. He doesn't have all what I have, but his trade of skill, he does,
that made him put up a whole lot.
When he said today, as they're doing a executive suites at Brass Mill, the guy came to do the floors, and he said, well, we're gonna have to do this to the grout. We're gonna do that. We're gonna shine and buff the floors. And the first thing I said, well, let me call my brother, because I don't handle that. I didn't call the grout.
Nope.
I called the.
What'd you call it? Caulk?
I called it caulk. I was like, listen, that's not my field. That's not my field. That's not my field of expertise. So he's just as valuable. Having a trade, having a skill, that's just as valuable as having my PhD. It's just we have to respect each one's ability to do. The only thing I didn't let you do was be a WWE wrestler. But now that you've grown and you feel as though that might be something that you want to do, by all means, now you may do that. But this is important.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You're right. I never know with you.
You never know.
Yeah, you're right. I never know with you. You and your brother kind of switch roles a little bit. I used to never know about him, what he was going to do. Now it's you.
That's what happens when you get older. You pick up a little things from the older child.
Yeah, you pick up some things from your older brother. I get it. I get it.
Can you talk about your businesses branching out of Harford County a little bit?
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm excited about that as well, and I think some people might want to listen to this too.
Yeah. So the business suites at Brass Mill, we are branching out. My partner and I, Anthony Johnson, who I want to give so much credit to, he's a more of a behind the scenes type partner, but he believes in you very much, and he speaks highly.
Hey, shout out my dude. I know he's gonna see this. Shout out my dude AJ.
We started with just this building, and I was blessed to have this building, and I wanted more. When I started to see what success looked like, I wanted more. But one of the biggest things that enlightened me, in October of 2021, I was inducted into the Professional Women's Society as Entrepreneur of the Year. And that was awesome for me. And once you get that bittersweet taste of what it feels like, what victory feels like, because you can taste victory too. I'm trying to tell you. It gets on that palate on your tongue and you want more of it. I went to my partner and I was like, man, listen, I said, we got to keep rocking. We got to keep rolling. And I always had my sights on that building across the street.
Yeah.
So when you came to us about the podcast studio, we jumped in and we got right to work on that. And as we were working on that, we were working on getting the executive suites of Brass Mill open, and that place is going to be beautiful.
That place
is we're going to start giving people some sneak peeks and come get some tours. It is humongous inside. We're excited about all the great things that we're going to be doing for the community, the outreach programs that we're bringing, the work empowerment force programs that we're bringing. I mean, we're sitting alongside of some wonderful people. We want to bring all affiliations, all denominations, everybody. We want everyone to enjoy these buildings. And as we did that, I searched all over and was welcomed by Delaware. And he said, you know what? We want to hear about this business suites at Brass Mill. So then we were blessed with a building there, which they'll both open in April. The executive suites here, and then the executive suites of Delaware will open. We just decided to take another look at another building. So we're moving.
Yeah, you guys are moving.
We're moving.
You're moving really quick too.
Yes, and the
that's
people.
The real good part.
It was when your blessings are for you, they're for you. Okay, when God has a blessing for you, in due time, your season will come. And I had to learn that. I'll be 48 years old this year. And I had to learn, because all the time that I put into stuff and I was impatient, God let me know that you being impatient is not where you need to be. But when I decided to allow him to lead me, the journey is still long, but I see the blessings within it. You got to learn how to humble yourself.
I know that's one
You
thing you
know,
always teach me.
always be
Just be
humble.
humble.
Being humble gets you behind closed doors quicker than you just being aggressive and overactive and just having abundance of education. That doesn't get you everywhere. So it got us into a lot of great places, my partner and I. I mean, this big shout outs to the leaseholders that's stuck in there with us through COVID, man.
Oh,
Our
absolutely.
building was
Because
full. We had trials, where people would come and go because this entrepreneur thing, it's not easy.
oh no,
It's
it's
not.
definitely not.
Being an entrepreneur is just not an easy thing. Sometimes, that's people always believe, oh, there's some startup money out there. I'm gonna get some grants and all this stuff.
And
It takes time for those things. So the people that hung in there with us, the people that are leaseholders, the people that are yet to come to us, we and another thing about it, we enjoy working together.
oh
We enjoy
yeah,
our leases. We
I think I
enjoy
hear it all the time working at the front desk is that people's like, man, this is such like a real family vibe to it.
family
Like,
vibe.
we all laugh and joke and and still get work done too.
Still get a lot of
That's the
work
one thing
done.
that really like amazes me of like having a family in the business. It's just the same way we act at home is like this. It's we going to work and then we having fun going to work. There's nothing better than enjoying yourself or like waking up with a smile and then be like, yeah, I'm going to work.
Well, that made me feel
It's gonna
good that
be
and it's funny because we had a lot of people stick with us, and we had a lot of people leave us too. Kia Smith is one of the people I thrive for her because she's a younger female, and I want to show her the ropes. I think a lot of older people we don't take the time
no.
To show our younger people how to really get this, how to really play in this game. And you don't, again, I want to pitch it out there. You don't always need a PhD. You just need to have an open mind and willing and ready to learn. The internet is feverish. You can learn all kinds of things, but sitting alongside someone and shadowing someone and learning. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Richard Wilson, who decided to take me under his wing and show me how to do these things. He was patient. He was kind. He was a teacher. He was a motivator. He's a mentor. He's still somebody called friend. Sometimes when I get into those trouble situations and things like that, I'll give him a call and he says, hey, daughter, how you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm calling you. He said, well, you might be calling me, but I still need to know how you're doing. Yeah, so Dr. Wilson, he motivated me. He said, you need to continue your education and you need to go further. And one of the things he said, as an African-American woman, you need to search for things that nobody else is doing. So I said, this being a owner of a Black business hub here in Harford County.
It's amazing.
Not just being a Black business owner, but being an owner of a Black business hub. That speaks volumes right there.
Real big volumes, like really big.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hear about that a whole lot.
No.
You really don't.
No. And then to keep the doors open in one of the worst pandemics ever.
Ever. I don't think anybody knew what to do. Nobody knew how things were going to end up, how things were going to go.
No.
Financially wise, emotionally wise. I think it tore a lot of people up. And the fact that you say we never closed doors.
We never closed our doors. We kept our employees. Sometimes my employees would work for free. That's another good thing about having some family up in there. A lot of times, you guys would come in and I'd be like, look, man, y'all here, but my money's a little tight and nobody left.
I can attest that she was paying for lunch though.
I was buying lunch.
Y'all see me out. She was buying
lunch, man. I was keeping people. Want to give a shout out to the team, Dr. Levada Coulter, who joined our team. She's our office manager. She keeps us on our toes. She keeps us spiritually lifted and grounded at all times. She just makes the atmosphere, that mother-like figure. She likes to have fun with you, but she also gonna let you know where you belong and what your place is. A lot of times when I did feel like I wanted to give up, she let me know that giving up was not an option and that my mother in heaven was watching, but she was my mother here now and I needed to hurry up and get back to what I'm supposed to be doing. that was big. It was major. Like I said, it's just been us. We had Pastor Donald come along and he helped us out majorly.
I
Him and
can't
his
thank
wife.
that man
Give a
enough.
shout out to them.
Yeah, real shout
Pastor
out to
Glenda
PD,
Smith, Pastor Donald Smith, how they
Pastor
came
Glenda,
along and they embraced us.
Christine, I got you too.
Christine, how they came along and embraced us.
Good.
It's a small circle. Want to give a shout out to my husband Ron. It's and him keeping grounded and him being able to be free, just to be free to get out there and do the things that I'm doing without no strings attached, without no, hey, he's my biggest cheerleader. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So always there, just trying to keep that family atmosphere together, because you don't have to have a big circle. No. Catch this. You don't have to have a big circle to get the job done.
I like that too.
You just have to have an effective circle. You just have to have an effective circle. And that, like, again, the circle can grow if you allow it to. But I would throw caution in there, because I had big circles. I know what it's like I lived in a house where it's 12, 13 people. I know what it's like to have a big circle. But again, I had to learn along the way that not everyone is going to love what you do. Not everybody is going to be your cheerleader. That's why that empowerment has to come from within. And just keeping God first in everything, because he's never lost a battle. And my everyday walk is the walk just like that, to never lose a battle. But I know where my strength lies, and I know where my strength comes from. So when people walked away, yeah, that bothered me, because I'm human. But I turned to what I knew. I turned to what my mother taught me. I turned to what I've been being taught spiritually. And it helped me. It helped me grow as a mother. It helped me grow as a friend. It helped me grow as a sister. It helped me grow as a wife. It helped me grow as an entrepreneur. Because being an entrepreneur, it's cold out here. It's cold out here. It's there's rumors, there's talk, people talk, people this and that. I never forget when I bought my Maserati. It was a gift to myself. My husband said, "Go out and get yourself a gift to yourself." And when I pulled up to the house, you said, "What kind of gift is that?" I said, "That's a gift to myself." Left out with the Chrysler, came back. Time to move up, a time to reward yourself. And I want to let all the entrepreneurs know that this is your season. It is your time to reward yourself. It is your time to step on the platform. You've been in the valley long enough. It is your time. Whatever you're sitting in your house right now thinking about, if you're thinking about being a great artist, be that great artist. If you're thinking about making these flower arrangements and being an event coordinator, be the best event coordinator that Harford County and surrounding counties know. If you give a shout out to my shoe diva, Demetra, give a shout out to her. She never ever gave up. And she's standing on platforms now, and we call each other. I want you to know, Saquon, as being a young entrepreneur, this game ain't for everybody. Only the strong survive in this game.
I'm learning my little bit, like you said about shadowing. I'll be shadowing you, so I definitely know that sometimes it's lonely at the top.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I really have never been alone. Like I said, I grew up in a house with it was 7 of us, and then my mom would have my cousins and stuff around, and then I got pregnant, and I started babysitting, and I always had a house full of people. I've always had a entourage of people around me, and this year I never experienced what it was like to be alone, but this year I experienced that in October of this year. Also, after being inducted and having one of the greatest women's conferences here in Harford County, I enjoyed it. And watch out, we're coming back with something new. So you guys keep focusing on our page. We got something real good coming, and we want you to be a part of it. Having a massive heart attack. A lot of people didn't know that. It spoke volumes. Just know that being an entrepreneur, the stress on the body that it takes is American Heart month, and we want to not only just recognize Valentine's Day, with that heart, but you want to make sure you're doing self-care and self-love, and that your mental status is right. Because again, not everybody can contest to this entrepreneurship. Not everybody can burn that midnight oil and make it through. Mm-hmm. And I was one of those people like, oh, I can do all things. Because that's what Jesus said. You can do all things. So I was staying on being King Kong. I can do all things. And without even realizing, just really quick, just had some shoulder pain. Went to the doctors, just kept having this shoulder pain. I love carrying my purses. And I love carrying my purses, and I got big purses. So I figured I just put it on my shoulder on or whatever. And that day I went to the doctors, and 2 days later I was in having massive heart surgery. I was 60% clogged, and got about 6 or 7 stents, and was willed to stay home, was made to stay home. I endured that. I stayed home for 2 weeks and hit right back onto the tracks and went right back into working. But still, just understand this, that mental peace, check in with yourself. Yes, okay. That emotional peace, self-help can be the best help. Self-help can be the best help. So don't forget about yourself. As you being a young entrepreneur, you can burn that midnight oil, but sometimes you have to turn that light out, and you have to be okay with being alone. And I've learned that through this year, it's okay to take that rest time. Mm-hmm. It's okay to take that. We begged and pleaded. Yeah, you got another 7 days. You you can't get out of here. No, can I go to the store? Oh, I can go to the store. Yeah. You guys are like the warden, man. Y'all made my house like the Baltimore City Detention Center, like check in and check out. No lock doors around here. You couldn't even walk up the stairs by yourself. No, I couldn't walk up the steps by myself. I couldn't do a lot of things. I wasn't trying to let me do nothing. For me, you always granted, you not granted, but like you always was there for me through all my steps. So it's like it's only right if I can help her out. So like anything I do now, I always think of you like what was she doing this decision? Like what's she gonna make? And I'm figuring out now that betting on myself a little bit that it's coming along. I had to get that patience in. Oh yeah, but I'm still hey, listen, I'm still not patient. That's what I'm still not patient. I'm getting better because you telling me about it's gonna take some time. It is. You gotta set up. You gotta see. You gotta look at the pay for your building. The Wi-Fi, the TV. You gotta make it look all nice. That's right. I just wanted to come in here. Dark screen. You just want to come in and jump right to work. You just jump right to work. Yeah. I didn't understand the process of this yet. So the fact that I was able to shadow you and understand some of the process is, man, that self-help and that self-help is something that welcome to entrepreneurship. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, and you're being birthed into this thing. But that self-help and self-health is one of the initiatives that I want to push this year. I want to push into one of the things I'm doing now is I'm certifying for counseling to be a counselor here in Harford County, because a lot of people don't know what it takes to do this job. A lot of people don't know what it plays on in the psyche of the mind. And like I said, one of the biggest slogans that are going to come up out of Brass Mill this year is that self-help and health rather. So again, self-help and self-health. You have to help yourself. Mm-hmm, and you have to stay in time with yourself so that way that health piece will always be a factor if you take care of yourself. Because you can go out looking good every day, but do you feel good? I was just about to say that. Do you feel good? People are so used to putting on these masks. Let me tell you something. These masks. The biggest thing that came from, for me, that came from the pandemic was the mask. And I liked it because it hid what I was going through at that time. And like I said, being an entrepreneur right now, it just wasn't going good. People couldn't tell if you was laughing, they couldn't tell. They couldn't tell if you was frowning. Yeah, Missy, we see your comment. Yes, the warden. Yes, the warden. I'm back. You know we couldn't contain the warden. Yeah. I'm back. I'm strong. I'm in one of the best mind frames right now. I'm in one of the best shapes of my life right now. And I think with that being said, it's my time to lead and guide. As your mother, I always said that being a parent, you lead and guide until the day is done. And being your mother, I'll never be done. So every day I have to get up and I have to make sure that I'm leading and guiding in this entrepreneurship race, not only in that race, but being your mother, making sure that I'm doing the things that I need to do. Parents out there, we need to model. We need to model. And then let me tell you something. You're the youngest, so most of the time, when mama gets old, the youngest usually take care of her. So I'm gonna try to take care of you so you can take care of me, right? You know what I mean? And I want to say that louder. I want to say that louder for the parents who aren't believing in their children and aren't giving them the goals and aren't giving them what they need. Remember, one day you too will be older and we'll need you. So a lot of the parents that don't want to give the crayons, the parents that don't want to give the extra hug, the parents that don't want to give go the extra mile. Remember that you need this to strive every day. That pat on the back and you're doing a great job goes a long way, goes a very long way. So sometimes, again, I don't take anything from today's parents. I wouldn't want to be a today's parent.
Oh man.
I wouldn't want to be a today's parent. Just a few minutes ago, I had to go back to elementary math. One of Kia's daughter is over there. I call her my granddaughter Star, and she was doing long division. I said, baby, you can't do long division if you don't know your multiplication. So we got to start there. And I said to myself, I said, well, what's your teacher teaching you? She said, oh, not sure. That's not the right way. I said, well, we got the same answer. Yeah. I said, so, it's just educating your children. Don't allow the teacher to do all of it. You got to do some of it too.
I think that one-on-one too, actually sitting there. I'll never forget all the times we sat at the table.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah. And you guys remember
the best times. There's definitely some of the worst.
Some of the worst, but
we got it done.
But you talking about the worst times, but look at you now. Look at you now. College bound, educated, owner of a manager of a podcast studio. So I used to think like that too when I was younger. I couldn't wait to get out of my mama's house. Man, I can't wait to get out of here. And she said, okay, you go on. She said, you going out there. You can always come back home though. I said, oh no, coming back home is not an option for me. And I never went back home, mind you. Because she gave me all the tools that I needed to build what I needed to go build. And that was me building my maturity. Okay, because I thought I was already grown. But again, I tell you all the time, you ain't grown because you still live at home.
Thanks, Steve.
I tell you that all the time. Your time will come. Your time will come. But one thing that, with children, sometimes children need more. And you just need you and a couple of other children. And I know a couple of other parents out there. We just got to keep giving you more tools. And that's why I love the fact when you came to me and you talked to me about this podcast, the first thing I said was, you have to learn the ins and outs of business. Because ins and outs of business aren't just built on hopes. No. They're built on the knowledge that you have within what you want to do in that business. You need to learn to add. You need to learn to subtract. You need to learn how to multiply. You need to learn how to read. You need to learn how to write in order to run this successful business. So you need all those things that we've already given you in your toolbox, but now we just need you to manifest and move forward. If you have a child out there that has a dream, don't steal it. Enjoy it with them.
I like those words.
Don't steal it. Enjoy it with them. Now, sometimes I let you know that that was just, I used to say no, Saquon, we just can't do that.
Oh, man.
But what I did say is, no, Saquon, we can't do that. But maybe come back to me with another one. And he always came back to me with another one.
All the time. All the time. I think that's one of the things that made me who I am today, of just being like, I can, as long as my support team is very good. And I was like, yeah, I can pretty much do anything I want to do. I just got to put my mind right to it. I always know I had a good support system, safe, like, what you want to do. I wanted to do HVAC. And Ron came out, he gave me a whole book. It's just always supporting on what I was going to do, and then always just enjoying it with me. Like even when I'm talking about it, like even talking about a wrestler, and I know you ain't want me to be one. Like you're still, like
Yeah,
you
I support.
smile and
Listen,
laugh and
listen.
oh
I would watch you and your cousins and your brother and them, imitate the turn everything in a house into a wrestling ring. Um, all that good stuff. So I supported you in that. You know what I mean? You had all the wrestlers, you had all the toys and all that good stuff. So I supported you, but I just didn't support the move into the professional status. But as you're grown now, if that's something that you wanted to
yeah. Oh
do, that's something that you.
I know
But
I
and
still
I
had the voice
supported the
so
many.
cold,
I
so
supported the
cold. My
many
gosh.
wrestling shows. I supported the many wrestling shows. So I supported those things. But my biggest dream for you and your brother is to go out here and be the best at what you want to be. Because what I wanted for you is what I wanted for you. But what you want for you, you can make happen. And that's what I want for you, and that's what I want for all the young people. That's what I want for all the new young entrepreneurs. If you're looking at trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur, come on over here to Brass Mill. Come
Oh
on over
yeah.
and shadow us. We're here to teach you. We're here as business coaches to help you get set up and to help you get you right and help you get you on your way. Education is the biggest thing when you're starting this entrepreneurship. Don't just take somebody's word for it. Go get that knowledge. Go make sure you know what you're doing. Because the worst thing to do is start to build something and have it taken away from you because you just didn't do it the right way or you didn't know how to do it. So go get with the same like-minded people that want the same things that you want. Because it only takes one person in the group to not want what you want. Back in the day, Grandma say only take one bad apple to sour the bunch. So you're going to go through trials and you're going to
Most
go through
definitely.
tribulations. You're going to go through denials. You're going to go through all of that. You're going to go through betrayal. You're going to go through all kinds of things. You're going to go for people walking away from you. Best friends that you had for 30 years are no longer your friends because they didn't want to support your dream. That's happened to me, and then I still decided that this is my dream. So those young people out there, if it's your dream, and I don't want to sound like Martin Luther King or nothing here,
No,
like Junior. But he said it the best. If it's your dream, dream the dream.
Dream the dream.
Dream
I
the
like
dream.
that. I like that. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
We gotta have another episode because
Oh, absolutely.
we got a lot
go
more
on.
things to talk about. I really do appreciate everything that you do for us. I appreciate
Absolutely.
everything that you do for the community and trying to instill knowledge and wisdom into young people or in just to anybody who's willing to
Anybody,
listen.
anybody.
So, is there anything that you want to say to anyone that's watching right now?
Sure. I thank you for the opportunity to be your first guest. We have other guests coming. You got your team of people all lined up. If you want to be a guest on Let's Talk the Talk, this is like an unscripted type thing. We focus on one big question and we go and we branch off of that. I just ask that everybody stay tuned in and support these young people. Support the small business owners, support the young entrepreneurs, and also the older entrepreneurs who are trying to get out there and make a way. Let's just support one another.
Let's just support
Let's just support one another.
That's definitely what we need nowadays.
Absolutely. No more hiding behind what you didn't think, hiding behind what you didn't know. Let's take it back like our ancestors and just support. Back in the day when I grew up in Beacon Terrace and in Hartford Commons and the Old Heights, everybody. That saying, it takes a village. That was a true factor. It was a village. Really, and we need to get back to that. We need to get back to where it takes a village. And over here at Brass Mill, it's a village.
Oh, yeah.
It's a village over here. So if you're looking for office space, if you're looking for a place to do conferences, if you're looking for a place to grow, if you're looking for a lounge area, we're going to make some calls out to the sororities, let them know that we got conference spaces, bigger ones coming. If you're just looking to support, and let's support locally. I know that I'm branching out to other areas, but home is always here in Hartford County. So let's support our local business owners. Like I said, we're here at 1200 Brass Mill Road. We have accompanied 3 of the buildings here. Hopefully we'll move on to get the whole outskirt of Brass Mill And we're looking to do that. Yeah, we're looking to do that. So I am here. I am here most of the time, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we also have a concierge service package. Like I said, we do business coaching here. We do taxes here. We do a QuickBooks accounting here. I mean, we do a multitude of great things here at the business suite of Brass Mill. If you just want to come on in and kick back, we have a seniors program on Tuesdays. We're giving back to our seniors. We're giving back to our community. We're going to start looking for mentorship programs that want to come and join Brass Mill, because we just want to keep giving back to the community. You want to keep putting out that informative information. So if you have anything that you want to do and you just don't know where to come and do it, come on over here and join Brass Mill. Come join the family. Come join the family.
Yeah, please. It's a whole big family atmosphere. I'm glad again to have you on our show.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Stay tuned. Next Wednesday, we'll have another guest come on. It should be exciting. Well,
make sure you're watching the page. Like the pages.
You already beat me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I take it from you? Oh man.
You already took it
man. Look, that's that mother thing.
I was just about to say that.
That goes that mother instinct in me. I'm sorry.
I will do this part.
Okay.
Look, she got me hitting the mic and everything now. Please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube page. It's rolling underneath as a ticker. Please, just you guys want to come in? We're always in.
We're always in. From 10 to 6.
Always
we're
have
here on the
a
property.
listening ear.
That's right.
Just hey, come join this journey, because it's definitely a wonderful one already right now. We would love to have you guys a part of it. You guys have a good night.
Take care.